Hello everyone, welcome back to day 2 of Algebra 2. Yesterday, or whenever you looked at the other video, we talked about arithmetic sequences and you learned two different formulas, the recursive formula and the explicit formula. You learned some different notation and where to plug in different numbers. And so today we're going to take that one step further. We are going to find a specific term in that sequence. So the other day we just wrote the equations that we would use, and today we're actually going to use them to find this specific term. So it says, example 3, find the 40th term in the sequence. Hint, use the explicit formula. So whenever you're trying to find a specific term, you're always going to use the explicit formula, which, as a reminder, is a sub n, so the nth term equals a sub 1, or the first term, plus, in parentheses, n, which is whatever number term you're looking for, minus 1, and then times d, or our difference. So we got to find three different things, determine a1, d, and n. So let's first start with a1. a1 are our first term, so if we look at the sequence, our first term is 5, so a1 is going to be 5. D is our difference, so to go from 5 to 8, you add 3. To go from 8 to 11, you add 3, and to go from 11 to 14, you add 3, so our difference is 3, and the last one is n. Now, n is the number term we are looking for, and if you go back up to the question, it says find the 40th term. So in this case, n is going to be 40. So we have these three things. We're going to take them, we're going to plug them into this equation right here. So we still have our n is 40, so a sub 40, the 40th term, because a is term, equals a sub 1, which we said was 5, plus our n is 40, minus 1, because that's the equation size, and then times d, which in this case is 3. So now we just need to go, and we got to simplify this down. So 40 minus 1 is 39, and then we're going to have to bring down your 3, so 39 times 3 is 117. And so then 5 plus 117 equals 122. So the 40th term would be 122. So if we did this out and we kept going 40 times, we kept adding 3 40 times, you would eventually get to 122. Or you can just use this equation. So we're going to do this one more time for number 7. So we got to still find our three pieces to begin with. Our a sub 1 is our first term, which is 7. We have to find our difference. So to go from 7 to 5, subtract 2. To go from 5 to 3, you subtract 2, and go from 3 to 1, you also subtract 2. And then we have to label our n, which is whatever number term we're looking for. And if you were to go back up to the question, we're still looking in this case for term 40. All right, so we're going to take it and we're going to plug it into the equation that's listed above in blue. All right, so a sub n, we are still looking for term 40, so it's going to be a40 equals our a sub 1 we said was 7. Our n is next, which we still said was 40, minus 1, and then our d is negative 2. So we're going to go ahead and keep simplifying. So we bring down our 7 plus 40 minus 1 is 39. And we still have to times that by negative 2. And 39 times negative 2 is negative 78. And 7 minus 78 is negative 71. So a sub 40, or the 40th term, is negative 71. So whenever you have to find a specific term, you have to use the explicit formula, label A1, D, and N, and then just substitute and solve. All right, we have one more thing that we're going to do, and it's probably the easiest piece all week. And so it's to find the arithmetic mean, or the average of two numbers. And we're talking regular average. If you got to find the average of two numbers, you add them up, divide by 2. That is exactly what we are going to do here. So you just take your two numbers. We are going to do 22 plus 46. And you divide them by 2. All right, because you have to, we're going to add by some number, and we have to add by it again. So we have to add it twice, and that's why we're dividing by 2 right there, because it goes up once, and then it's going to go up a second time there. So 22 plus 46, this is equal to 68 divided by 2, and 68 divided by 2 is 34. So this middle number here in this problem would be 34. We're going to do this one more time. Now, if you notice, this one's written a little differently. So this is a sub n, or the term we're looking for. This says n minus 1. So it's the previous term. It's one less than whatever this was. And this is n plus 1. So it's one more term. It's the next term. But we are still going to solve this the exact same way. You just take your two numbers, negative 54 plus negative 23. And we're going to divide it by 2. So negative 54 plus negative 23 is equal to negative 77 over 2. And negative 77 divided by 2 is negative 38.5. And so then the spot right here would be negative 38.5. So if we're finding the mean, you just add up the two numbers and divide by 2, because you have to add once and twice, or subtract once and twice. Now, if we had more blanks here, this number would be different, but because you just have the one blank and you're adding twice, that's why you divide by 2. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I hope you have a wonderful day.